The court was supposed to bring closure. A guilty plea, a sentencing, and finally, peace for the village.
But what happened tonight in Hollyoaks was nothing short of chaos, a shocking unraveling that exposed lies, revealed hidden darkness, and left the entire courtroom on edge. It began with Tony Hutchinson preparing for what should have been the end of his nightmare.
Surrounded by tension, he faced the reality of pleading guilty for Bobby Costello's death. The weight of that moment hung heavy.
But he wasn't walking into that hearing alone.
Jez Blake and Liberty Savage accompanied Diane after Nancy Osborne suddenly canceled on her. To an outsider, it may have looked like a gesture of support. But from the very beginning, something felt off. As the trio entered the courthouse, the air shifted again. News spread quickly John Paul had been attacked in the village, leaving the McQueens absent from the hearing. The room fell into uneasy silence, everyone shaken by what this meant.
Except for one person. Jez didn't flinch. No sympathy, no concern, just cold indifference. It was enough to make Liberty's stomach twist. For the first time, she looked at him and felt something she couldn't ignore: fear. She slipped out of the hearing, unable to sit still while the truth gnawed at her. Her first thought was Dodger. He had already voiced suspicions, whispering that Jez wasn't who he claimed to be. While Liberty tried to believe otherwise, Dodger was relentless. And at that moment, he was tearing through Jez's home like a man possessed, desperate for proof that his instincts were right. Then he found it. A key. Small, ordinary, yet screaming of secrets. Dodger followed the clue, unlocking a jewelry box tucked away in Jez's belongings. Inside was something no one could have predicted: a kill book. Detailed, deliberate, and damning. It wasn't just a notebook, it was a confession in ink, proof of twisted desires, and a record of the darkness Jez had hidden for so long. Dodger's hands shook as he turned the pages, but his resolve only hardened. There was no time to waste. He raced to the courthouse, his every step fueled by urgency. Bursting through the doors, he didn't care about the disruption. All eyes turned as he raised his voice, clutching the book like evidence in a trial that had gone on too long. Tony Hutchinson, he declared, was innocent. Bobby Costello's death wasn't a hit and run at all.
Bobby was already gone, his life stolen by Jez Blake. The room froze. Gasps echoed. Disbelief spread like fire. Jez, caught in the glare of truth, tried to spin the story. His voice softened, his tone dripping with desperation.
He claimed Sienna had poisoned Dodger's mind, twisting reality, planting paranoia.
He begged Liberty to defend him, painting himself as the victim.
"You know me," he pleaded. "You know I love you. I'd never risk what we have." For a brief moment, it almost worked.
But then the mask shattered. With Dodger closing in, Jez lashed out.
A knife flashed, fear spread, and the courtroom descended into chaos.
He lunged, seizing Tony as his shield, his bargaining chip.
The exit slammed shut as Jez locked everyone inside, dragging the drama into darker territory.
The escape was frantic. Jez forced Tony outside, shoving him toward a waiting car, his grip unrelenting. The air was electric with panic, every heartbeat louder than the last. Just as Jez prepared to vanish into the night with his hostage, Mercedes arrived on the scene. At first, her presence seemed like salvation. But Jez, cunning even in crisis, saw opportunity.
Tony tried desperately to explain, his voice hoarse with urgency, but Mercedes' grief clouded everything.
And Jez twisted the knife deeper, not with steel this time, but with words. He pressed a metal pipe into her hands. Cold, heavy, final. His voice was low, venomous, almost hypnotic. "If you want justice," he whispered, "do it yourself.
Don't let your son down again.
You need to avenge him."
Mercedes killed Tony.
The world seemed to stop. Mercedes froze, her mind torn apart by fury, grief, and doubt. In front of her was Tony, a man accused, a man Jez insisted was guilty. In her hands was the power to end it. And beside her, the real monster smiled, feeding on her pain. This wasn't just a courtroom drama anymore. It was psychological warfare. Jez was no longer hiding, he was thriving, trying to turn one of Tony's closest allies into his executioner. The episode left viewers breathless. Questions piled up, each one heavier than the last. Could Mercedes resist the manipulation, or would grief push her past the point of no return? Would Tony survive another night in Jez's grasp? And most importantly, how many more lives will this killer try to destroy before justice finally catches up with him? Hollyoaks has always thrived on twists, but this wasn't just another plot development. This was a turning point, a night when Jez Blake's true nature was exposed in full. No more masks, no more excuses. He was revealed as a predator, a manipulator, and a man willing to drag anyone down with him. But here's the chilling part: this story is far from over. Jez has already proved he'll do anything to keep control. He's outsmarted, deceived, and twisted the truth at every turn. And with Tony's life still hanging in the balance, the danger is far from gone. The question isn't just whether Jez will be caught, it's who else he'll take down with him before the end comes. And tonight, Hollyoaks reminded us all of one haunting truth: in this village, no one is safe.